You've been lied to. The idea that you can just think positive and suddenly attract your dream life. That's not how this works. The law of attraction isn't broken. It's incomplete. There's a deeper force, ancient and raw, that the mainstream forgot. Or maybe deliberately left out. Welcome to Kundalini Awakens, where we uncover the truths of Kundalini and more. See, manifestation isn't just a mental game. It's energetic warfare. Your thoughts are only the match. But Kundalini, that's the gasoline. That's the power source buried in your spine, coiled like a serpent, waiting to be awakened. Most people never even scratch the surface. They repeat affirmations. They visualize. They journal until their fingers bleed. But nothing shifts, because they're only using the conscious mind, not the full spectrum of their being. Not the part that actually creates. You've felt it, haven't you? That it's just beneath the surface of your life, like something massive is trying to break through. That's not anxiety. That's your energy calling you up. You were never meant to play small. You were never meant to only manifest parking spots and text messages. You were built to shift reality itself. And yet, you've been stuck. Not because you're broken. Not because you're not aligned enough. But because no one ever showed you how to tap into the nuclear core of your being. We will. Because once you activate Kundalini, once that current rises, every affirmation becomes a command. Every intention, a frequency, every desire, a blueprint reality can't ignore. But be warned, this isn't about comfort. This isn't about staying in the soft safety of spiritual cliches. This is about power. And when we talk power, we mean the kind that rewires your nervous system, burns through illusions, and shows you who you really are underneath the noise. You ready to remember? Good. Because the real story, the one that changes everything, starts here. And when we reach the end, when it all clicks into place, you'll understand why nothing has worked until now, and why everything starts to move the moment you stop chasing and start awakening. There's something ancient coiled at the base of your spine. It's not metaphor. It's not myth. It's biology. Energy. Consciousness compressed and dormant. Kundalini. For thousands of years, mystics, yogis, and spiritual rebels whispered about this force in caves and temples, hidden away from empires and institutions. Why? Because it gives you sovereignty. Not just spiritual insight, energetic dominance over your own reality. You've seen the symbols, the serpent, the spiral, the double helix. All clues, all pointing to the same truth, that within you lies a system designed to awaken, to rise, and to unlock dimensions of experience most people will never access. This isn't philosophy. It's mechanics. At the base of your spine, nestled in the root chakra, Kundalini energy sleeps. When it awakens, it travels upward through your central channel, the Sushumna Nadi, igniting each chakra, one by one. Not gently, not politely. This is no guided meditation fantasy. It burns. It clears. It exposes. The false self, the one molded by fear, trauma, conditioning, starts to crack. And in those cracks, something else emerges. Something ancient. Something you. But here's the part no one tells you. Kundalini doesn't rise just because you want it to. You can't force it with ego. You align with it. You create conditions for it to emerge. And when it does, your life stops being a loop and becomes a launch pad. You'll feel it in your body, heat, vibrations, pressure behind the eyes, a pulse in your spine that wasn't there before. You'll feel it in your mind, thoughts that aren't yours, but feel more like you than anything you've ever thought. You'll feel it in your reality, synchronicities, shifts, things that used to take months happening in hours. This is where the law of attraction starts to make real sense. Because when Kundalini is active, your vibration isn't just a concept. It's a field, a force that interacts with reality in real time. You don't attract anymore. You generate. That's the secret they never printed on the vision board kits. And this is just the beginning. Because once you know how this energy flows, how it unlocks not just manifestation, but your multidimensional self, that's when the game changes completely. You want to manifest faster, with more precision. You want to stop doubting and start knowing. Then you need to understand how this ancient fire rewrites the rules. And we're just getting started. Let's pull back the curtain. You've heard it 1,000 times. Raise your vibration. But what if that vibration isn't just emotional? It's electrical. What if your manifestation power has less to do with how positive you feel, and more to do with how much raw energy is flowing through your system? This is where the law of attraction meets its missing half, Kundalini. Most people treat the law of attraction like a cosmic vending machine. Think happy thoughts, press B7, and wait for the universe to drop the goods. But that's not how high frequency creation works. It's not passive. It's powered. Kundalini is that power. When it rises, your energy body ignites like a superconductor. Your aura expands. Your presence shifts. People feel you enter a room before you even say a word. And here's the kicker. The universe doesn't respond to words. It responds to state, to frequency, to energy. That's why affirmations only work when they're backed by belief. And belief is only real when it's felt through the body, not the mind, the nervous system. That's Kundalini's domain. You're not manifesting through thoughts alone. You're manifesting through resonance. And the higher your internal voltage, the clearer the signal, the cleaner the pull. With Kundalini active, your intention becomes magnetic, not through effort, but through coherence. Your chakras become like tuning forks, each one aligned, cleared, vibrating at its natural frequency. When that system is lit from the inside, your desires don't have to climb their way through resistance. They ride the current. But this isn't just spiritual poetry. It's physics. Emotion is energy in motion. Kundalini accelerates that motion. It turns the dial up on your electromagnetic field. Suddenly, you're not just visualizing the life you want. You're generating the frequency of that life now. And when you become the frequency, the form can't help but follow. But here's the dangerous truth. If your inner energy is clogged with trauma, old belief systems, repressed emotion, Kundalini will surface it. All of it. That's why most people resist the real work. Because it's not just about light. It's about purification, precision. Still, if you can face that fire, if you can stand in it without running, the reward isn't just manifestation. It's liberation of the mind, of the soul, of your original blueprint, untouched by programming. We'll go deeper. We'll break down the signs, the sensations, the step by step. But understand this now, the law of attraction is not just a philosophy. It's a system. And Kundalini is the key that turns it on. And once it's on, there's no going back. When Kundalini awakens, it doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't whisper. It roars. And if you felt even a flicker of it, the tingling in your spine, the electricity behind your eyes, the sensation that something invisible is moving through you, then you already know this is not imagination. It's transformation at the cellular level. But what does it really feel like? For some, It starts with subtle waves of energy rising from the base of the spine. For others, it hits like a lightning bolt, spontaneous, chaotic, beautiful. Heat radiates from within. The body shakes. Breath deepens. The ego trembles. It's raw, it's wild, and it's deeply intelligent. Because Kundalini isn't just energy. It's consciousness. It knows exactly where to go, what to unlock, what to purge. It travels through the chakras, your internal energy wheels, and with each level, it peels back a layer of illusion. You start to see things you've buried, emotions you never processed, traumas you thought you outran. And that's part of the gift. Because the only reason your manifestations haven't landed is because your channel, your inner field, is cluttered. You've been trying to attract abundance while still carrying scarcity in your root. It purifies. It dissolves the noise between you and the life that's already waiting for you. And that's where the law of attraction finally becomes more than just wishful thinking. You're no longer broadcasting from a fractured signal. You become a clear channel. Your thoughts become sharper. Your decisions faster. Synchronicities stop being rare. They become your default reality. You'll notice it in little ways at first. People start responding to you differently. Time bends. Hours feel like minutes, and miracles land without effort. Things you used to chase now show up in your orbit. You're not begging the universe anymore. You are the universe, experiencing itself through awakened eyes. But let's not romanticize it. Kundalini awakening is not all light and bliss. It brings up your shadows so you can clear them. It makes you face your false identities, the roles you've played, the masks you've worn. You just decide. You choose. And reality adjusts accordingly. Now think about what that means. If this energy has always been inside you, if this force has just been waiting to rise, what happens when you stop resisting? You're getting closer to that answer. Closer to the part where everything connects, where the inner current meets outer creation, where you don't just awaken energy, you command it. There's a secret most spiritual circles won't talk about. It's that when Kundalini and the law of attraction finally meet in your body, in your life, everything becomes dangerously effective. You stop playing by the rules of effort, hustle, or even spiritual bypassing. You're tuned into something that doesn't need permission, a force that bends time, magnetizes people, and collapses delays. Because here's what no one teaches: Kundalini isn't just about personal enlightenment. It's the engine behind all energetic creation. And the law of attraction, that's just the user manual. One without the other is incomplete. Together, they're reality, hacking in its purest form. You don't just become a magnet. You become a generator. See, most manifestation teachings hover in the mind. Mental exercises, visualization, repetition. But the truth is, your mind is just the surface. It's the antenna. Your real power, the kind that moves mountains and bends probability, sits deeper. It's rooted in your spine, your breath, your body, your field. And when Kundalini rises, that field expands like wildfire. It doesn't just vibrate differently, it commands. Your aura becomes more than a bubble. It becomes an interface with the quantum. You don't just wish for things, you emit them. And the universe, which has always been a mirror, reflects that back with terrifying precision. You think wealth, you radiate it. You feel love, you broadcast it. You claim purpose, the path lights up in front of you. This is why some people seem to manifest effortlessly. They're not lucky. They're aligned. Their internal current is clear, fast, charged. Kundalini active. Chakras lit. Nervous system regulated. Desire flowing, not blocked. And here's the wild part. When you're in that state, manifestation becomes dangerous to the status quo. You stop being programmable. You stop obeying limits. You stop outsourcing your power. Society isn't designed for awakened creators. It's designed for consumers, sleepwalkers, people who hope, but never truly claim. But Kundalini doesn't let you sleep anymore. It wakes you up to who you really are. A frequency, a force, a creator cloaked in skin. So now ask yourself this: what happens when you stop pretending to be powerless? Because we're getting close, very close, to the point where all of this, the symptoms, the shifts, the energy spikes and shadow purges, it starts making sense. The connection between Kundalini and the law of attraction isn't just real, it's inevitable. And once you know how to channel it, align it, and own it, the rules of reality stop applying. It's not just ancient wisdom anymore. Science is starting to catch up, reluctantly, quietly, but it's happening. Neuroscientists are seeing what yogis have known for millennia. When Kundalini activates, the brain lights up in ways we barely understand. Gamma waves spike. The default mode network, the part of your brain responsible for ego and identity, dials down. The separation between you and the external world starts to dissolve. You stop observing reality. You become one with it. And in that state, manifestation isn't a process. It's a pulse, a signal, a command riding the edge of consciousness. Let's talk mechanics. You've got 7 major chakras, each one a power station for different aspects of life. Root, survival and security. Sacral, creativity and pleasure. Solar plexus, willpower. Heart, connection. Throat, expression. Third eye, vision. Crown, higher consciousness. When Kundalini rises, it doesn't just visit them, it activates them. Each chakra starts spinning faster, aligning more clearly with the energetic blueprint of the universe. It's not esoteric, it's resonance. It's bioelectric flow. Your spine becomes a superhighway. Your body, an antenna. Your consciousness, the driver. And when these energy centers are online, clean, harmonized, your signal to the quantum field becomes undeniable. You're not sending mixed messages anymore. You're not asking for one thing while energetically broadcasting the opposite. You're clear. This is where manifestation becomes surgical, focused, precise. You want abundance. You don't just ask. You generate the feeling in your gut, in your heart, in your cells. You align the root to trust, the solar plexus to worthiness, the crown to universal flow. You become a full spectrum transmission. And reality doesn't resist that. It responds. Now, zoom out. Think about what this means. It means your biology and your spirituality aren't separate. Your ability to attract isn't based on some metaphysical gamble. It's built into your system. You're hardwired to create. The only question is, how much of you is actually online? Most people are running at a fraction of their energetic capacity. Kundalini is the ignition switch. And when it flips on, everything accelerates. Healing, creativity, clarity, magnetism. This is where quantum physics and ancient mysticism start speaking the same language. Frequency, vibration, observer effect. Locality. All of it points to the same reality. You are not a fixed point in space. You are a living wave of energy. And that wave creates. When Kundalini rises, you become aware of it. When you align it with intention, You master it. And now, you're almost ready to take everything we've unpacked, the energy, the science, the sacred, and turn it into something usable, practical, unstoppable. We're not here to theorize. We're here to activate. But before you activate, you need to understand the risk. Kundalini isn't a magic trick. It's not a light show for your chakras. It's real, raw voltage, and if your system isn't ready, it will short circuit you. That's not fear. That's fact. You've seen the stories, people forcing awakenings through reckless breathwork, obsessive meditation, or psychedelics without guidance. And what happens? Energy surges with nowhere to go. The nervous system freaks out. Anxiety, insomnia, identity collapse. Not because Kundalini is bad, but because the vessel wasn't prepared. Think of it like flooding a small circuit with industrial power. Boom. That's why discipline matters. Grounding matters. Integration is the path. Kundalini will not allow you to bypass your own shadows. It will drag them into the light. That anger you've buried, it's coming up. That grief you masked with spiritual language, it's rising. That fear of your own power, face it or fall. This is why so many people feel stuck in manifestation. They're using affirmations to paint over deep cracks. Kundalini doesn't play that game. It demolishes the false foundation, so you can build something real. So let's get real. You don't need more vision boards. You need clarity. You don't need more mantras. You need nervous system regulation. You don't need more good vibes. You need energetic alignment. And that starts with knowing how to prepare your body and mind to receive this energy. Daily breathwork to open the channels. Spinal movement to wake up the dormant pathways. Cold exposure or grounding to stabilize the system. Fasting or clean eating to lighten the energetic load. And silence, deep, intentional stillness, to hear the intelligence of the energy itself. Because Kundalini isn't something you do. It's something you allow. And when the body is ready, the mind clear, the field clean, it moves. Like water through open pipes. Like fire through dry wood. Like truth through a silent room. This is where the law of attraction finally begins to feel effortless. Not because life is easier, but because you're no longer creating from ego. You're creating from source. From the same current that built stars, carved rivers, and wrote the code of your DNA. And when that current becomes conscious in you, nothing, not karma, not doubt, not conditioning, can hold you back. You're almost there. The tools, the steps, the blueprint, all of it is coming. And when it lands, so will the truth you've always felt but never fully claimed. Now it's time. Time to stop waiting. Time to stop collecting spiritual trivia and start embodying power. Because knowledge isn't enough. Integration is what changes you. So how do you do it? You don't need a guru. You don't need $1,000 retreat. What you need is a method, grounded, daily, repeatable, that aligns your system with Kundalini and channels that energy into your manifestation work like a laser. Here's the blueprint. 1. Morning. Set the current. Wake before the world touches you. Before the noise floods in. Sit in stillness. Not to do anything, but to listen. Breathe deep into your belly. Lock into the body. Activate the root. Feel the spine. Use spinal flexes or slow cow movements to stimulate the lower centers. Wake the serpent gently, then move to breathwork. Use alternate nostril breathing or Kapalabhati to balance the hemispheres of your brain. Clarity begins here. Feel your energy build. Not hyper, not frantic, charged. 2. Midday, embody the frequency. Here's the trap most fall into. They set their intentions, then move through their day with old programs. Doubt, friction, disconnection. Don't let that happen. Anchor into the version of you that's already living what you're manifesting. Not imagining, embodying. Use your body like a tuning fork. Shoulders back, spine straight, eyes soft but alert. Speak less, listen more. Watch how people start to respond differently. Your field is shifting. Hold it. 3. Evening, clear and command. Before sleep, cleanse the system. You've collected energy throughout the day, some of it yours, some of it not. Shake, stretch, exhale, then sit. Stillness again. This time, direct. Visualize the spine as a column of light. Feel each chakra glow, one by one, from base to crown. Now speak, not begging the universe, but commanding with coherence. Not with desperate energy, but with the calm knowing of a creator who has remembered. And as you sleep, that energy works on your behalf. It doesn't rest. It aligns timelines. It pulls threads. It opens doors you didn't even know were locked. You begin living in a field of mirrored intention, where what you feel becomes what you find. Not eventually, immediately. Because the lag between thought and form collapses when Kundalini is flowing and focused. But here's what separates the ones who touch this and the ones who live it: discipline, devotion, daily practice. This isn't something you activate once and forget. It's a relationship between you and your higher self, between your body and universal force, between your words and the quantum field that's always listening. And when you give it your presence, your patience, your precision, it gives you everything. You're no longer chasing alignment. You are alignment. And manifestation becomes the most natural thing you've ever done. Stay tuned. One more layer. The final key, and stories from those who've done it. Proof that this isn't just possible. It's inevitable. You don't need to believe it. You just need to feel it. Because the moment Kundalini stirs, belief becomes irrelevant. It's no longer a theory. It's an experience, unmistakable, undeniable, unstoppable. Let's talk about the ones who've lived it. Real people. Not gurus. Not influencers. Just human beings who cracked open something ancient inside themselves, and everything changed. One woman, years struggling to manifest financial freedom. Books, seminars, vision boards, nothing stuck. Then, through consistent breathwork and root chakra work, her Kundalini began to rise. She described it like fire crawling up her spine. Within months, she didn't just attract more income, she shifted careers, stepped into purpose, and watched opportunities chase her. Another story, a man haunted by emotional pain, trying to manifest love but attracting the same cycles over and over. Nothing moved. Then came his awakening, through meditation and trauma release in his solar plexus. He stopped trying to get love and started embodying it. And just like that, the pattern shattered. He didn't just meet someone, he met himself first. That changed everything. There's more. A woman in her 60s told her time had passed. But after activating her energy centers, especially her third eye and crown, she began to see visions during meditation. Not fantasy, direction. And she followed it. Now she's building something entirely new, a late in life legacy she never thought she was allowed to have. Every one of them had something in common. They stopped waiting. They stopped thinking their way to change. And they activated. Because once Kundalini moves, once it fuses with the clarity of intention, manifestation becomes your second language. Reality starts echoing back the internal shifts you never knew were possible. You don't push anymore. You pulse. You don't hope. And this is your moment. You've heard the call. You've felt the flicker. You've seen the cracks in the old system, where thoughts alone weren't enough, where affirmations felt hollow. Now you know why. Now you know what's been missing. You're not meant to stay in your head. You're meant to rise through your spine. You're meant to embody the current that bends reality. And here we are, full circle. What started as a question is now a doorway. You've been given the key. So take a breath. Feel your body. Anchor your intention. And step forward. The energy is already moving. Your timeline is already shifting. And the version of you who knows how to create anything, they're waiting. Let's go. There's no going back now. Once you've touched this truth, even for a moment, the old ways stop working. You can't fake it anymore. Can't shrink to fit into patterns that were built for a dimmed down version of you. You've seen behind the curtain. The law of attraction was never just about thinking happy thoughts. It was never about hustling the universe. It was about alignment with a deeper current, the one that's been coiled at the base of your spine since before you had a name. Kundalini is your original code. The part of you untouched by fear, untouched by limitation, untouched by the lies you were sold about what you can and can't become. And now, it's awake. The shift doesn't look like fireworks. It looks like certainty. Like stillness in motion. Like walking into a room and reality adjusting around you. You don't have to explain it. People feel it. Opportunities feel it. The field responds because you're finally transmitting from truth, not tension. This is where manifestation moves beyond desire. You don't want anymore. You intend. You don't beg the universe. You become the signal. You don't chase outcomes. You let them orbit you, naturally, inevitably. Because your system is now broadcasting in its original frequency, not distorted by trauma, not blocked by conditioning, not confused by fear. Just clean current, power, flow. And this is just the beginning. Now that you know how it works, how energy rises, how thought fuses with vibration, how the physical body becomes a transmitter for quantum alignment, you'll never look at reality the same way again. The veil is thin now. The separation between inner and outer, self and source, intention and result, it's nearly gone. You've unlocked it. Not a belief, not a trick, a force. One that's always been inside you, waiting for this very moment. So here's the invitation. Don't let this be a one-time awakening. Make it a lifestyle, a practice, a return to source every single day. And when resistance creeps in, because it will, remember what you are. You are not waiting for permission. You are not hoping for change. You are the field. You are the current. You are the creator. Let the energy rise. Let it move through you. Let it build the life that's already encoded in your soul. Because now you know the truth. The power was never outside you. It was always within. And it's awake.